Hi folks, you're with Taskless today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about hate crime hoaxes and also talk about access to the news and having the time to access the news. Now, unless you're committed to looking at online news and seeking out the alternative media, if you're not committed to that, and if you have the time to do it, of course, then you're unlikely to pick up what's going on in the world today. You'll only have the CNN, the MSNBC, the free-to-air channels like the American Broadcasting Corporation or the Australian Broadcasting Corporation and so on. And they're very, very much in the globalist camp. Racist, white supremacists, Nazis, fascists are everywhere, absolutely everywhere, around every corner, under every bed, in every closet. And the brown and black people that are being forced into they're just doctors and engineers who want a better life. You know, they're not illiterate peasants, farmers or something. They have every right to be, just as much right as you do. Do you disagree with that, you damn fascist Nazi? So the sort of narrative and propaganda narrative and terrible lies and just the stories they choose to cover that are on the mainstream media are still reaching the majority of people. Most people don't have the time. And you know, here's a couple with two children. They kind of work in ordinary sort of jobs. You know, they're not on the big bucks or anything, and they both have to work full time, and they've got the children in like before school and after school care, and it's kind of difficult for them to find the money to pay for it, but they sort of get by. Now, when they're up in the morning, they just put the news on, like in background, and it's one of the free-to-air channels, like the American Broadcasting Corporation or whatever, any of the channels there. And all these channels are owned by the globalists. Okay, there's nothing that isn't owned by the globalists. If you want to see Fox News and or that sort of thing, Tucker Carlson. It's cable. You've got to pay for cable. Not everyone can afford that, or they don't pay for the news thing. Maybe they just get the sport or something like that. So they don't get to see anything else. And if they go to anywhere else, CNN or one of those is like if you go into the downtown square, it's one of the CNN, MSNBC, or any one of those that's playing news channels. So really, it's not that easy to find the time to go online and look out for the alternative news sources. And sometimes you've got to sit down and give 20 minutes of your time to see what's going on, if not more, minimum of 20 minutes of your time. Now you've got the kids to pick up, you get the kids from school, then dinner's got to be done. You've got to get the kids' lunch ready for tomorrow. You've got a whole lot of things to do. You're running back and forth. You got to get them to have a bath or a shower or something, and they've been playing sport that day. You got uniforms to wash. You got a lot of things to do, and kind of you can't really give your attention. One of the TV stations is on the background, and you're picking up little bits as you kind of walk by, and your mind wanders to things that happened in the day. Then it comes back again, and terrible hate crime. Jussie Smollett was attacked by fascist Nazis working for Trump, and they did a noose and bleach and racism, homophobia, well, everywhere. For neo-Nazis, look out the window, neo-Nazis, Hitler's under the bed. And this is all this narrative, and you're picking this up sort of subconsciously. You're listening to, that's terrible. Who are these people that attacked this poor black man just because he's gay and black? This is terrible. Maybe these Nazis really do exist. I don't know any. I've never seen of any. I don't know anybody who knows any. But they must be only the people that I don't know. They must be all the Nazis. That's because I'm a good person, by the way. So this is something that's in these people's minds now. So they're only getting one side of it, and the story that it's a hoax, Jussie Smollett, the whole thing was a hoax that he invented. They don't really run that on the TV, so they don't get to hear it. So if you stop one of these people and say, "Have you heard of the Jussie Smollett hoax?" Oh, you mean that gay black guy that got bashed up by by an army of 1,000,000 Hitlers. That guy, you mean? Because that's what they said on the news. No. It was a hoax. What? What a hoax? What do you mean hoax? What are you talking about? Oh, I don't know anything about that. So they're not getting the other side of the story. They're just getting the globalist mainstream media version. Now, it's not easy for people like that to say, look, can you get online? Look, here's some things you might want to, some online sites you may want to look at, or commentators that you might want to listen to. And, oh, yeah, if I get time. And so they have to sit down, they got to log in, they actually got to concentrate and listen, whereas they can be really passive, just receivers of lies and propaganda from the globalist mainstream media, and they don't really have to think or bust their ass or really concentrate or focus or anything like that. And they're tired after the day. They've just had including traveling to and from work, they've had a 12-hour day, then they've got the kids to get ready and so on. So they fall into bed exhausted at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and the whole thing begins again the next day. And they can't think much more than a few days ahead, a week ahead, that sort of thing. So what's happening in the wider world, the implications of all the lies, the implications of democracy being taken, the implications of having all these black and brown peasant immigrants forced on them without their consent, and rigging elections, and the corrupt courts. And this is just hey, we vote for people to take care of that sort of thing. They're supposed to look after that. I haven't got time for this. I got kids to look after. I got a job to do. Boss told me I had to do better. And I just had my review, and the boss said I have to lift up my game if I want to keep my job. I've got other fish to fry, and other things to worry about. So this is why and how even people that are very suspicious of the lies being told to them, they think that elections get rigged, and they kind of, it's in the back of their mind that things aren't quite right and so on, but they just don't have the time to deal with it and to find out. And I think this is a big part of what makes the globalist propaganda scam successful. You've been with Tassus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.